The estate were approached by Penny LAWSON at Spey Catchment Initiative, who was looking to undertake some works on the Calder, which was apparently a very degraded watercourse.
So we're up here in Glen Banneker, just above Newton Moor. This is the River Calder, you can see behind me. At a glance it looks like a pristine, very natural, perfect environment. But the reason we're working on this river just now is because it's been picked up for a number of years now that this particular tributary of the Spey is not producing as many juvenile salmon as you might expect it to. And we think that that's because there's very little woodland in the catchment, which is not really helping the functioning of the river overall, and is quite an unnatural situation.
So naturally the channel would flow through woodland and wood would fall into the channel. Wood itself is fantastic for habitat, for fish and invertebrates.
But what we're aiming to do here is to give nature a helping hand by putting felled trees, which we've harvested somewhere else from within the glen, into the river, so mimicking natural dead wood that would be falling into the river if there was woodland within the glen.
The woody objects that we call them are basically large coniferous trees that were taken out of a wood close to the river.
We knocked down trees, we dragged them to the sites that have been located by the consultant, and then we just put them in where X marks the spot. These are plantation trees that the plantation is worthless, it's coming down anyway, and the estate has told us to help ourselves to what we need to make the project happen.
The second part of what we're doing in this glen is going to be to establish riparian woodland, which will be a case of planting native woodland species, native tree species, along the river banks. So as that grows up, that will provide a natural source of dead wood to keep that whole cycle of dead wood in the river going.
From the estate's perspective, there will be some hopefully relatively minor maintenance whilst the trees become established, and eventually the fences should be able to come down, and that will be easier to maintain. It will also look a lot better.
It's probably been a 2-year run into this project, liaising with the estates, liaising with contractors. So it's all about the bigger picture of working with people as well,
There's another really important advantage to having wood in the channel is that it gradually raises the bed of the river because it stores sediment in behind these bits of wood, and that connects the river to its floodplain, which is a healthy process. And that's great for towns like Newton Moor downstream, and if we get the river flooding here and connected to its floodplain, it reduces the peak flow downstream in the town.
So we've been very lucky in receiving grants for this project, and the main one, certainly for the riparian woodland, which we're going to be doing in the autumn, is from the Scottish Natural Heritage Biodiversity Challenge Fund. And they've very generously given us sufficient funding to de-fence the riparian areas in 3 sections and to do the ground preparation.
But I think it's part of a wider belief that conservation and habitat enhancement is very important to the estate, and this ticks all of those boxes, I would say.
The 2 projects together should make a really significant landscape scale difference to the renaturalisation of the whole glen, which we hope will be a really, really good investment for the future.